right, first things first, Flipkart-owned Myntra has actually entered the quick commerce space with the launch of M Now that promises the delivery of accessories as well as clothes within 30 minutes at your doorstep. It's initially going to be available in Bengaluru and then expand to Delhi, Pune as well as Mumbai. Let's understand what this means for the sector as a whole. Karan Taurani joins in from Elara Securities. And Karan, given that, Myntra is known as a fashion and a lifestyle brand, I want to understand from you how this entry into Q-commerce is really going to identify with its core strategy, or how it's going to align with its core strategy. And it's a highly competitive space.
So if you look at this entire quick commerce e-commerce proposition, a lot of things are changing. The quick commerce space is quite dynamic. It has seen acceptance in the metro markets for now. The economics are favorable. It's seeing high growth. Competitive intensity is also growing here, and I think a lot of the e-commerce players have also realized this, that quick commerce definitely could be the future for many categories. So for now, I think the FMCG grocery category is very strong in the quick commerce proposition, followed by beauty, personal care, and some other smaller verticals which are there. I think apparel as a category may not see strong acceptance on the quick commerce side, because this category is sort of a planned purchase. Generally customers would not want clothing, accessories kind of things within 30 minutes. Right. So I think Myntra is just trying to test the market and, kind of see a potential impact, if at all, in terms of, how things pan out. We don't see that, Myntra is going to transform itself into a quick commerce player. They will obviously invest and make initial inroads, try to sell accessories, try to sell some selective apparels on the quick commerce side. But as of now, on the quick commerce side, rather, we have not seen this category really pick up or do well. Apart from some minor accessories, like for maybe socks or something of other things put together within the apparel bucket, which is an impulse purchase kind of a product, we have not seen very strong demand. And another, reason for that is that this category has a very high return ratio, right? I mean, in terms of 30-40% of the products are generally returned on an average because of size and design and other technical issues which are there. So it's going to be very tough for this category to scale up within quick commerce, but nonetheless, Myntra making inroads is a good thing, because clearly they will try to do a pilot test about it, and then we have to see in terms of where they can see from here on.
The Q-commerce market in India has been, growing very rapidly. It is reliant heavily on metros, on Tier 1. Do you think that this move is going to really explore some untapped opportunities in Tier 2 and 3 markets? And how critical is this for some of these players?
So I think, this, so firstly, I think Myntra is, quite well spread across both the metro and the non-metro markets. They are one of the market leaders as far as online fashion is concerned. Online segment as a category in the apparel segment is reporting healthy growth of, more than 20%. It's reasonably penetrated. For the organized sector, 40% of your fashion sales, from online. So definitely a lot of acceptance of this apparel category online, and it's quite wide, spread across in terms of geographic presence as well. But I think, if you move beyond the metro markets, what we believe is that the grocery category may not see very strong offtake because the penetration of kirana outlets is very, very high in the non-metro markets. So you may see other categories emerging winners there, maybe a fashion store, or something which is like a clothing apparel store, which is at a very long distance, for the customer over there. So this category could see acceptance in the non-metro markets. So Myntra is just kind of preparing themselves that if at all quick commerce scales up beyond the metro markets, if at all this apparel category sees acceptance in the non-metro markets because of lower penetration of the malls and lower penetration of the stores over there in terms of the way they are located and the long distances over there, quick commerce would make absolute sense over there. So I think this is some kind of a preparation from their end, in terms of to really tap the non-metro market if at all quick commerce picks up, specifically in the apparel category, going ahead.
And, we've always spoken about this when it comes to these Q-commerce players, that, achieving sustainable unit economics, that continues to remain a challenge. Can the existing consumer base or the tech capabilities that Myntra has currently give it an edge in tackling the profitability dilemma?
So I think profitability is going to be a long haul. For the quick commerce market itself, the existing players, except for the market leaders, everyone is making losses. So profitability is going to be a challenge from here on, because at least for the next 12 to 18 months, we see heavy competitive intensity. We see heavy fragmentation. We see many e-commerce players reducing lead times. We saw that in the case of Nykaa. They are doing, same day, next day delivery. We saw in the case of JioMart, they are doing delivery within 30 minutes. Now Myntra is coming in. So this space is going to become highly competitive, right? So in terms of unit economics, in terms of losses, things may not turn in favor for now, right? But clearly, I think user experience is going to be the key monitorable here, right? So I think the players which are actually able to report a very superior user experience in terms of the product being delivered correctly, the product being delivered without any kind of issues, and the correct lead time. I think that's going to be the winner here in the quick commerce side. So it's a very dynamic game, very different game as compared to e-commerce, and we'll have to wait and watch in terms of how things pan out. Because everyone in the e-commerce side is wanting to get into quick commerce. So one should not really expect any kind of profitability or any kind of break even, for the next 12 to 18 months as far as this segment is concerned. Also, in the case of, Myntra's customer base, there could be a small fraction of their customer base who would want apparel and, fashion accessories on a very impulse basis. So this kind of a proposition of 30 minutes delivery could augur well for that. Now, currently, as per our assessment, we believe that, maybe 5% or even 10% of customers at best would want this kind of a proposition wherein they would want these products and accessories within 30 minutes. More than 90% of the customers wouldn't want this because it's a planned purchase. But yes, I mean, if customer behavior changes, if all falls well, Myntra may even start charging some kind of a delivery fee or platform fee, for the premium service of 30 minutes. And if that 5-10% of the customer base who is wanting to purchase these products on impulse basis is willing to pay for that, and then I think it's a very good proposition for them, and it's a win-win proposition. And lastly, I think Myntra doing this is something very innovative, because other online fashion players are not doing anything of this sort for now. So if it does benefit and augur well, Myntra could have personal advantage over here.
And given that, Myntra does have a largely urban, a tech-savvy demographic, what do you think will be some of the consumer insights that will help to translate into effectively building, a loyal base within this very competitive sector?
Yes, of course. So, customer loyalty is of utmost important. And as you said rightly, that they do operate in this entire Gen Z and urban audience environment. What this will do is, kind of bifurcate the customer base. They will be able to kind of bifurcate two sets of customers, one who would want to, get products on a planned purchase manner and is okay to wait for 1 day, 2 day in terms of delivery, and pays a very minimal delivery fee. The other part of the customer would be the one who would want it within 30 minutes to an hour and is willing to pay that premium as far as delivery is concerned, right? So that is something which will happen in terms of bifurcation of customer. So I think initially they will offer this at a very low delivery fee, or the same delivery fee what they're offering right now in terms of 1 to 2 day delivery. And going ahead, if this customer kind of, the repeat increase or rather frequency goes up, or the repeat usage increases, to kind of get favorable economics in their favor, or to kind of improve the experience, they might even start a premium delivery fee which is there. So of course, I think these are all tactics to kind of pilot test the market, see how the customer behaves. And I think the big thing to watch out here is user experience, right? So because as a platform, today you're not restricting yourself in terms of what you are providing for. There is the threat of quick commerce, there is everything which is happening, market is very dynamic. So as a platform, you have got everything. You have got a service wherein the customer can get the product within 2 days, and you also have a service wherein the customer can get the product within 15 days. So you have to adopt, you have to be innovative, you have to invest into that. You might lose out over there, but if things fall in your favor, you can even be a winner over there. So that's what Myntra is trying to do, I feel.
And what is the future of, Q-commerce in India? Has it already, or will it surpass e-commerce? How do you see it growing?
No, I think quick commerce is just scratching the surface. I think this segment has got immense potential, as mentioned earlier. We could see growth rates of 50-60% even for the next 7 to 8 years, if at all this segment extends beyond the metro markets, because non-metro is a huge untapped opportunity. Now, which verticals fall in place, which vertical does well in which market, that will be a key monitor from here on. How fragmented the market is today, whether they have price wars, how many players exist, those things will determine the future of this market. But definitely the market potential is extremely huge. We believe that potentially, except for certain white good verticals, except for certain footwear, apparel verticals, where the penetration numbers would be fairly low. I think this appeals to almost 60% of the entire e-commerce market. And if you look at the market size today, it is only about 4 to 4.5% of India's e-commerce market. So I think over the medium to long term, there is a potential for this number to move towards 15-20% first over the next 5 to 7 years, and then maybe basis how things pan out, basis new categories emerging in quick commerce. If the customer acceptance is there, willingness is there to pay the premium, if the platform is able to execute well through investment in supply chain, warehouses, delivery experience, everything put together, even the other categories can move to quick commerce. So the answer is that quick commerce, e-commerce, both will definitely coexist, but quick commerce is the future, and I think e-commerce will have to move with that. They'll have to kind of innovate. They'll have to kind of pilot test. They'll have to kind of do many things differently to kind of match up to quick commerce experience.
Thanks very much, Karan, for that. Certainly going to be a lot of disruption within the space.